The rains haven't stopped since the middle of last night. Some fans are still in attendance, waiting to see UCF host Marshall in the Conference USA opener. There's a look at the night's offense, and number 34, Bryn Harvey, will get the start at running back tonight. It is a gorgeous night for football. Well, in front of your television set anyway, the Marshall Thundering Herd with a 2-3 overall record. The UCF Knights, after back-to-back losses, are now 2-2 on the season. We're here at Bright House Network Stadium in the city beautiful Orlando, Florida. David Bauman alongside 15-year NFL veteran Mark Royals. Delighted to have you with us this evening. Mark, UCF on a bye week. They've been stewing after these losses to BYU and FIU. They're ready to get back to action.
Yeah, that inconsistency that's plagued them over the years. They clearly had a couple of games they felt like they should have won, but penalties and mistake caused them to lose it. Now they've had 2 weeks to think about it. So you go back to fundamentals, you go back to X's and O's, get things worked out, but they're anxious to get back on the football field and get that nasty taste out of their mouth.
Two quarterbacks with familiar backgrounds, Jeff Godfrey and Rakeem Cato. Godfrey just 1 year older than Cato. They played for the same high school in South Florida.
Well, you talk about a high school being in good hands there for a long time. You look at those numbers, just gaudy across the board. You have Jeff Godfrey there, player of the year, and then behind him, Rakeem Cato comes along and, oh, by the way, wins the state championship. Two very young, dynamic quarterbacks and making their transition to the college level, but both very, very good players.
And Cato just took down Teddy Bridgewater of Louisville 1 week ago. Bridgewater played for Miami Central as well. Godfrey with 8 rushing touchdowns, that's second in the NCAA, although he doesn't have a passing touchdown yet.
Yeah, and that's one guy that's definitely ready to get back on the football field. Over the last couple of weeks, he's been victim of a couple of mistakes that cost the team down the stretch. Still a very dynamic young quarterback, kind of going through a little growth spurt as a sophomore, but I think he's had 2 weeks to think about it, and he's ready to get going tonight.
And on the opposing end, Rakeem Cato, a solid week against Louisville, 18 of 30, 236 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's something that has plagued him early in his career were interceptions. Last week he was very efficient, and he's a guy that gets around the pocket and spreads the ball around, threw to 10 different receivers in their win last week, and throws the ball 68% of the time, so he's going to be slinging it all over the yard tonight. The
rains have yet to subside. It has been raining since the middle of last night. Look at the band bundled up. Our Jeff Radcliffe is on the sideline. I wonder what those field conditions are, Jeff.
Well, everybody is soggy. The fans are soggy, but there are no damp spirits here at the Bright House, where the Knights are 21-8 in their history, including 2-0 this season, but they're coming off back-to-back road losses. And nobody happier to unite behind their Knights than those UCF fans. Behind me, Jerome, our timeout coordinator. Wind it up, Jerome, and send her in. We're ready for football.
Thank you, Jeff. We're underway. Kick is away. Kimmis Williams back to receive. No Quincy McDuffie tonight. And here goes Kimmis Williams, the senior, past the 30 and taken down at about the 33.
Yeah, Quincy McDuffie, their real deep threat, vertical threat with the leg injuries, kind of been nagging him over the last couple of years, or last couple of weeks, excuse me. So, he'll be missing that offense because he is a true vertical threat for them.
Philip Warren on the tackle, and here comes Jeff Godfrey.
Yeah, we'll see Jeff Godfrey start this game, and don't be surprised in the first half if you see redshirt freshman Blake Bortles come out and play a couple of series. It's clearly Jeff Godfrey's team, but they're going to switch it up a little bit at quarterback.
Harvey in at tailback. Harvey getting his first start of the season. 1,100 yards, 14 touchdowns in 2009, and there goes Bryn Harvey. Past the 40, past the 30, past the 20. And down to about the 18-yard line.
Reminiscent of our last game that we did here, Ronnie Weaver out of the gate had a 40-yard burst to start the game. Bryn Harvey, we talked to the coaches this week, want to get him in the action as a starter. He's a guy that when he touches the ball more, he just gets better and better, but watch the vision. You can see the offensive lineman push the defense. He cuts back around and then very patient, letting the receivers get down the field, provide additional blocking, but a great start out of the gate for a team that's had 2 weeks to sit there and stew on their last game.
1 carry, 50 yards for Bryn Harvey. 1st and 10. Giovanetti leading the way. Harvey A solid pickup on first down.
That's a tough deal. When you have a game that you should win, you go on the road against a good BYU team, you lose it, you come back for a couple of weeks and sit there and think about it, man. They could not wait to get this one kicked off.
Here's the starting lineup for the Knights. Harvey, Giovanetti, A.J. Guyton, Kemis Williams, and Adam Nisley. The line, it's Chris Martin, Theo Goins, Jordan Ray, Justin McCray, and Nick Pichelle. Josh Reese in motion. Harvey gets the call again. Harvey approaches the first down, and that final surge may have gotten him to it.
Yeah, Coach O'Leary said getting back to the basics of creating balance offensively and running the football. He hasn't felt like against BYU they ran it as effectively as they would like. But if you can establish that running game, especially that's what they're known for here at UCF, then you can play action pass off of that. So they're doing a nice job of moving the ball early in the game.
It will be a first down. And Mark, you're right. UCF not running the ball in these past two games like they typically do. Just 81 rushing yards against BYU. And just 119 rushing yards against FIU the game before. First and goal from the 7. Harvey again. They'll be wrapped up. Vinny Curry in on that tackle amongst others. Curry the star of that Marshall defensive line. And the Marshall starters, it's Curry, Marcus Aiken, Delvin Johnson, Jeremiah Taylor, George Carpenter, Tyson Gale, Kellen Harris, the linebackers. And the secondary looks like this: Rashad Jackson, Devin Arrington, Omar Brown, and Montarius Lovett. All of the starters seniors except 3 of those players. Harvey again. To about the 5, and he's gang tackled. And a flag went in late. We all know Coach O'Leary likes to ride the hot hand.
And here we go again with the penalties. Is what plagued them the last couple of games is mistakes. And when you get in the red zone here, and they've been very efficient all year in the red zone, and that's one thing that he will address right away. As we talked to him during the week, and he's a no-nonsense kind of guy. If you don't want to know the answer to a question, you better not ask him. So we look at Vinny Curry there. What a tremendous pass rusher he is, and behind the line of scrimmage, tackles for losses, that's where you'll normally see number 99.
8.5 tackles for losses, ranks in the country's top 10. Second goal, passing situation. Nope, Godfrey will keep it himself. Back to the 5.
Looked like a called quarterback draw there. And when you talk about running backs here, and Ronnie Weaver and Brent Harvey and some of the other guys, I mean, he may as well be a running back. And that looked like a called quarterback draw up the middle, and he can get it done on the ground as well. That's what they're waiting for him to develop as a quarterback in there, being patient at times, sometimes not getting to his reads quick enough, but this guy's a dynamic playmaker.
18 rushing touchdowns in 18 career games for the sophomore Jeff Godfrey.
That's getting it done right there.
Third and goal. Williams in motion. Godfrey, middle of the field. A.J. Guyton, touchdown. First passing touchdown of the year for UCF.
Tremendous start by the UCF offense. Again, we talked about having 2 weeks to think about a game that you should have won or felt like you should have. You gave it away. George O'Leary's got to be happy with his start, but A.J. Guyton showed up big in the last game with 9 receptions for 163 yards. And now Jeff Godfrey with his first passing touchdown of the season.
The freshman, Sean Moffitt, gets his first start over Nick Catoy. Moffitt up and good. Catoy will kick off for the Knights when we come back here on Bright House Sports Network. UCF leads thanks to the Godfrey to Guyton connection. Bryn Harvey led the charge for the Knights, and Jeff Godfrey finished off the drive with a 5-yard touchdown pass to A.J. Guyton. And Guyton had a terrific week against Brigham Young. Guyton with 9 receptions for 163 yards. Here's a look at Nick Catoy. He will handle the kickoff duties.
Yeah, he's kicking off. Just been a little inconsistent on the field goals, and this coach felt like a change was needed there, but he's still very effective as a kickoff guy.
Andre Booker typically returns kicks for Marshall to about the 30-yard line.
Andre Booker.
Booker averages better than 23 yards per return on the season. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Marshall. We'll get a look at Rakeem Cato, the up-and-coming quarterback.
Give the tackle to number
had a
11,
very good
Sean
week last
Benson.
week. And early in the first few games of the season with the 7 interceptions, but last week protected the football very well, instrumental in the last 4 minutes of that game against Louisville to come back and drive his team down for the winning touchdown.
Quarterback for the Thundering Herd, number 12, Rakeem Cato, first down.
Cato to pass on 1st down in the rain, looking Dobson, and Robinson nearly came away with the interception. That ball floated a little bit.
Yeah, Josh Robinson with great coverage right there. He read that all the way and made a nice break on the ball. Had an opportunity to make a play right there. Coach O'Leary will say you never know when that's going to be the play to be made to make a difference in the game. When you have an opportunity, he'd like to have that one back because he's going the other way, maybe for a touchdown.
That's
great defensive coverage.
28th pass breakup in the career of Josh Robinson. Now moves into 6th place all time in that category in Knights history. And off up the middle.
Inside there to number 2,
That's Tron Martinez. That'll go for a couple of yards.
Play by number 50, Josh.
It'll be 3rd and about 8.
That'll be a short gain on the play.
The backs and receivers for the Herd: Martinez, Antavius Wilson, Aaron Dobson, Troy Evans, and the tight end is Gator Hoskins. Here's the line: Ryan Tillman, Garrett Scott, Chris Jaspers, John Bruin, and C.J. Wood. At center, Jaspers, a redshirt freshman. Cato to the air, incomplete. Pass breakup, Kamal Ishmael. The 3 and out for the Herd.
Yeah, Jonathan Davis right there coming off the edge, applying the pressure. So Rakeem Cato has to deliver the ball really quick with good defensive pressure there by UCF Knights. That's right.
J.J. Wharton is back to receive for the Knights.
Away is Case Whitehead.
Wharton is a freshman. Wharton moving ahead. And Wharton, a risky play, and that's probably going to get him in trouble with Coach O'Leary again. We'll see. Knights lead 7-0. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. You see pink throughout Bright House Network Stadium. Jeff Godfrey with Harvey in the backfield. Little rollout. And Wharton goes up and comes down with it. That'll be a 1st down, gain of about 19. Jeff Radcliffe on the sideline. In the rain, Jeff.
Fellas, this field right here, it's taken on about 6 inches of water since last night. It's 419 Bermuda. Soaks up water very well. In fact, it's got a state-of-the-art drainage system. I talked to Robert Sample. He is the director of turf grass here at UCF. He says field is saturated, but it is firm. He hopes it will play well the rest of the night. But either way, ball security going to be a huge concern for both teams the rest of the way.
Well, the Knights will keep it on the ground. Harvey, he'll gain about 4, and that's most likely a holding call to push the Knights back. Holding is, in fact, a call. .70 degrees at kickoff. Humidity at 81%. It's just steady rain. As head coach George O'Leary.
1st and 20 from the 36.
And Godfrey from that quarterback set. 3 wide receivers to his left. A little screen, and well, that ball's on the ground. Incomplete. Mark, head coach George O'Leary said there's been some talk coming out of Huntington, West Virginia, and he wasn't taking too kindly to it.
Yeah, he was kind of chuckling like that. They say that he is kind of, they feel like UCF is the bully on the block here at Conference USA, and kind of chuckled at it a little bit, but I think he takes it to heart there. And you know, they've had a long history, and UCF has had the edge every time for the last 6 meetings that these two teams have played. But I love the guy. I love to hear him in front of people. He tells it like it is. No nonsense guy. And I can only imagine what the last 2 weeks were like after coming off that BYU loss. 2 weeks to talk about it with Coach O'Leary. I'm sure he got after these guys pretty hard.
Well, penalty went against Marshall, put the Knights into enemy territory. Harvey gets the call on first down, and that's a decent gain, approaching another first down.
Brent Harvey, the ball carrier.
It was a personal foul call that went against Marshall to move the ball ahead to the 49-yard line. Harvey down to the 39.
Yeah, when you come into a game like this and you're focusing on these kind of conditions, they're doing exactly what you have to do. You've got to be able to run the football. Trying to throw it around all night is going to be a very difficult task. And they've come out early, kind of established themselves at the line of scrimmage. George O'Leary says all the time, you can tell who's going to win the game by watching the offensive defensive line. Right now, UCF off to a great start.
Giovanetti in the backfield alongside Godfrey. Harvey behind. Harvey gets the call. Tries to go outside, but he is wrapped and tackled right about the line of scrimmage. Doc Holliday is the head coach of the Marshall Thundering Herd. And Holliday's got ties to the Sunshine State. Plenty of his players are from Florida. 31, in fact, his second season. 3 games below 500.
Yeah, that's where he played his college ball at West Virginia, so he was happy to go back home. And you know, this guy is known for his recruiting, and he's knocking on the same doors as some of the bigger schools and getting a lot of those players. So he's determined to get this team in the likeness of what he wants to get accomplished. But he's a very good head coach.
Godfrey to throw on second down, and has the tight end, Adam Nisley. Nisley to about the 33. So it'll be 3rd and about 4.
And on the tackle is Jackson.
Yeah, great job there offensively with enough protection for Jeff Godfrey to sit back and go through his reads. And when you have a guy like Adam Nisley to throw the ball to at 6'6", 260-plus pounds, this is one of the strongest guys in all of college football. Bench presses over 530 pounds, 225-pound. That tests the NFL guys 38 times. This is a really, really good athlete.
That was his 10th catch of the season. The senior. Godfrey's got Harvey wide open in the flats. Pichel throws a block. That springs Harvey. Past the 20, Harvey to the 16. Knights pounding away here in the rain.
They'll carry it down to the 16-yard line, but that'll move.
Great play call by Charlie Taft. You're running the ball, you're throwing it effectively, getting a little pressure, let the defense come in, swing out a little screen pass to Brent Harvey, and let him get up the field. You can see, turn those guys loose, creates an open on the outside. Good up there by number 77, Michelle.
That's Ronnie. His first carry. The spin move gets the. And it is Marshall football. The ball squirted loose from Ronnie. Marshall takes over. It was Weaver's first carry.
Take a look, Ronnie Weaver getting up. I don't know if his knee was down first. It clearly comes out before his knee hits the ground, and that's the problem when you're playing on a game like tonight. That football is wet. Ball security is always number one, but it's a difficult task when it's raining like it has been here tonight, and you can see it right now. It is pouring.
George O'Leary was just looking up at the scoreboard in the instant replay here on the big screen. And they will review this play.
I think that's a good call. You want to take a look at it. It was pretty close. Looked like from our vantage point that Ronnie Weaver was still upright when the ball clearly came out, but I think it's worth a challenge.
1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime.
Boy, what a change of momentum. And Coach O'Leary said he was sick of the self-inflicted wounds.
Well, he said, too, that if that continued, you'd see some guys come off the field. He's a no-nonsense guy. If you're putting it on the ground, he's going to get you out of the game, and that's exactly what cost them the last few losses. They got off to the great start with their first 2 wins and then had opportunities to win those next 2 against FIU and BYU, and just penalties, mistakes, turnovers, they beat themselves.
This rain is almost comical, isn't it?
Well, I'll tell you, things start taking on a different light. Just your quarterback-center exchange sometimes becomes a chore. Then you've got anybody that handles the ball, from a long snapper to a holder to a punter. I mean, it takes on a whole different light. It's going to be a challenge all night for these guys.
Look, it almost looks like it's snowing.
Fortunately, it's still, what, 80 degrees?
70 at kickoff.
81 degrees humidity, or however that's measured.
It will be Marshall football. The referees have convened.
Anybody touching the ball, receivers, running back, quarterback, when you're in traffic, you really have to get both hands on the ball and protect it, because it's going to squirt out of there pretty easy.
Ball at sneaking in there from the linebacker spot. There's a look at Troy Davis, the defensive end.
Yeah, he's looking off the edge there, number 27, or 57, with good pressure, and Troy Gray making the big stick. And defensively has always been very, very good defensive play here at UCF. They're known for that, and they're getting after him again early in this football game.
Gray had extensive playing time against Brigham Young because Jonathan Davis was suspended for that game. Incomplete pass is the ruling on the field. It'll be 3rd down and 11.
Yeah, that was a little attempted shovel pass, and shovel it forward. If you're not able to keep control of that, it's ruled an incomplete pass. So brings up a long 3rd down for Marshall here in some just torrential downpour weather.
You hear public address announcer Eric Kohler with that signature 3rd down call here for the home team. Cato, swing pass, Van, and he has room. Oh, he tried to make a move and just slipped. The field just gave way. It'll be 4th down, and Marshall's punting unit is coming out.
Yeah, and that's great pursuit to the ball, and Coach O'Leary calls that a transition. When the ball gets in the hand of the opposition, how quickly can you stop and get yourself to the ball and make a play? 3 guys do a great job of doing just that.
Punting might be a little difficult tonight. That punt is underway. Wharton has it. Wharton gets out of the way wisely this time. Ball will be down at the 31. UCF will take over with a 7-0 lead here in the first quarter. This is Marshall and UCF meeting for the 10th time in program histories. UCF with the 6-3 all-time lead in this series. 6 straight wins. Check that, dating back to 2005. Bryn Harvey gets the carry. Bryn Harvey with plenty of yards past the 50 and into Herd territory. Coach O'Leary's first victory came against Marshall. The Knights had lost 17 straight games. That was worst in the nation. Bernie Morris, boy, he took a shot by Paul Carrington right there. Stephen Moffitt went to the air and found Brandon Marshall, now the Miami Dolphins. And the field goal posts came down. Trevani Johnson cheering on the crowd. Carrington and Kevin Smith celebrating. The field goal post came down at the Citrus Bowl. Harvey down there at the line of scrimmage. Do we still have that video of the field goal posts going down? Boy, I'll tell you, that was quite a night for the Knights.
Yeah, getting that initial win, well, that's a big moment. And I tell you, the interesting thing about that, they're playing Marshall again tonight, and if they're able to win this game, George O'Leary will then have 100 all-time college wins. That's pretty impressive streak there, but a big moment for UCF fans celebrating that win.
No doubt about it. This current streak of 6 straight victories against Marshall, the Knights have matched that against Bethune-Cookman and against Memphis. Tied for the longest win streak against any opponent in UCF history. Harvey up the middle. Makes a move and approaches the 1st down.
Coach O'Leary talks about with his offensive lineman, he calls it Bob. He wants a body on a body. And that's exactly what this offensive line is doing right now. They're getting bodies on a body. They're moving their feet and letting Brent Harvey cut off of the openings that are created by that. He preaches it all the time. You get somebody intact like that, your running backs can make some yardage. And again, 99 career head coaching victories, Georgia Tech and UCF, and he obviously knows what he's doing because he's done it for a long time and done it very well.
52 wins for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, 47 here for the University of Central Florida. And along the sideline is Chemist Williams, who faked everybody out. Kind of tough to follow that football here in this rain. Boy, Brent Harvey already has a 100-yard game, 106 yards for Brent Harvey as Chemist Williams assumes that role that Quincy McDuffie leaves behind here in the interim. McDuffie battling some nagging injuries, like we said early on in this telecast. Williams running the football like McDuffie typically does. McDuffie has 73 rushing yards entering tonight's game.
Yeah, Chemist Williams with a great job there, being patient, letting Billy Giovanetti create the block, and then getting up the field for a huge gain.
Latavius Murray in a tailback. Murray makes a move. Good gain inside the 5.
And that's the third part of the three-headed monster, along with Brent Harvey and Ronnie Weaver. Latavius Murray comes in at 6'3", 225 pounds, and he's a north-south kind of guy. Look at his numbers. They're all relatively the same. 34 rushes on the year, averaging over 4 yards a carry, along with the 3 touchdowns. But he's a guy who's going to find a hole, and if there's not one, he's going to run you over. So he's a power back, and he's going to get north and south on you.
He finished 2010 so strong with MVP awards in the Conference USA Championship game and then in the Liberty Bowl. Both victories for UCF. And Travius Floyd in motion. Murray looking for the pylon. Touchdown. His 4th touchdown of the year.
Again, we talk about offensive linemen and getting a body on a body. That's exactly what happens. Latavius Murray has great vision here to see there's nothing up the middle. His offensive linemen are intact with the defense, and he has the vision to bounce it outside where no one is and enough speed to get it in the end zone for the UCF 2nd touchdown of the game. Great run.
Moffitt on for the extra point. And the freshman from Dr. Phillips High School puts it right through the uprights. 14-0, Knights lead. Look at the rain coming down here at Bright House Network Stadium.
And it's not like it just started. It's been doing this for a day and a half, or at least as long as I've been here, maybe longer. But you're seeing puddles on the field. This is treacherous conditions.
9 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Catoy set to kick it away. Latavius Murray just scored a touchdown for the Knights. Booker from the 10. Looked like his knee was down, but they'll let him play it. Past the 30, Booker to about the 38. 4 seconds left to play here in the first quarter as the Knights' stout defense comes back to the football field. Boy, this Knights defense is tough, Mark. Ranking in top 10 when you look up and down. Passer efficiency, passing, number 1 in the country. 2nd in total defense and 5th in scoring defense.
Yeah, they do a great job, and part of it is because they're very disciplined in their technique and how they go about their business. And when you transition, when somebody has the ball, how quickly can you get there? They do it very, very well because they always put themselves in good position to make plays.
Josh Robinson nearly came up with an interception earlier tonight. Nice defense. The only defense in the country yet to allow a passing touchdown. That ball was tipped and incomplete. And that's the end of the first quarter. UCF leads 14-0 here in the rain. And the band plays on. The drums still work, even when soaking wet.
Yeah, I commend anybody that's fighting this weather out here as a fan to watch the football game, but the band always energetic, having a good time out here, and a great environment for college football.
As a player, Mark, did you enjoy playing in the rain?
You know, I didn't, because it made it difficult for me to, when you're handling the football, sometimes it's a little more challenging. But it gets interesting, I'll say that.
Here's the defense, the aforementioned top 10 categories. Pass defense, 103.5 yards per game. Pass efficiency, opposing quarterbacks, just a 73.36 rating. Total defense, not even 190 yards per game, allowing just 11 points per contest.
And John Sladany, coming in as a defensive coordinator, has not skipped a beat. They're known for defense around here. He comes over, takes over the helm as a defensive coordinator, and they're playing just as well as they have in past years.
It's a third down play, 3rd and 6. Tron Martinez gained a couple on that pass run. Cato will take it himself. Oh, and the ball's loose. That football's still loose. It is UCF football. Lynham on top of it.
Great hustle there defensively, getting after the quarterback. And as we mentioned, the ball's slick. You can see he's got it kind of loose. And players are taught. You see Josh Lynham there. When you tackle a guy, it's a strip fumble attempt. They get it on the ground and get a turnover. Coach O'Leary talked about it this week. They have to start protecting the ball better offensively, but on the defensive side, create some turnovers to give their offense better field position. A great job there with the strip force fumble. UCF on the move again.
Josh Lynham forced the fumble and recovered it. He has stuffed the stat sheet throughout the course of the season. Also has 1 sack, 1 interception on the year. Godfrey deep. Guyton beats the defense, and he can't catch up to it.
A.J. Guyton there, just a little too long for him. Jeff Godfrey, it all starts with the protection by the offensive line by giving him time to sit back in the pocket and find his receiver. Lays it out there, a pretty ball, just a little too long for A.J. Guyton to come down for another touchdown.
Mark, in our meeting with Coach O'Leary yesterday, he said there's plenty of comparisons with Joe Hamilton when Coach O'Leary was at Georgia Tech. Joey Hamilton, one of the terrific quarterbacks in the country at that time. Hamilton had a little bit more of a touch on his deep ball as Harvey picks up about 5 at this point in his career than Godfrey, but still very, very similar quarterbacks.
Yeah, interesting. I played with Joe Hamilton in Tampa for a couple of years until he hurt his knee, and he couldn't further his career, but he was a great little player, undersized guy, ran around very well, threw the ball deep very well. But Jeff Godfrey now is in the transition of learning offenses, learning defenses, how to make plays, how to get to your reads quicker. And he has struggled the last couple of weeks with some unfortunate mistakes, but he's on his way to being a super quarterback for the rest of his career.
Yeah, Godfrey sacked 10 times in the last 2 games. Quick pass, Giovanetti holds on to it, gain of about 1.5. And here comes the punting unit.
And this is a bit of a challenge sometimes. You look at your long snapper, want to keep that ball dry. He's got to deliver it to the punter. And the punter's got to be real careful with that slick ball. Ball security first and then get it away.
Was that not the right read on that play?
Well, it's a tough one when your receiver is not far enough for the first down. You want your route to be long enough to be able to get the first down once you make the reception.
Booker with a fair catch at the 12. Marshall football trailing 14-0. Pink hats for the cheerleaders here at UCF. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And more than 1,000 cancer survivors scheduled to be in attendance for this one tonight. Rakeem Cato from the shotgun. Cato to throw, deep. Airs it out, Robinson. And that ball was over his head. Uncatchable. Little contact there with Hobson. That actually looked like Wilson.
In the last series for UCF, it did seem like Coach O'Leary had a couple of words with Jeff Godfrey on the sideline, maybe about the decision making. We talked about that in the open, that some of the decisions he's making, he has to get through his reads better and make better choices faster. And maybe that's a sign that we'll see Blake Bortles. He said we were going to see him anyway, so maybe the next drive we will.
Van is wrapped up by Victor Gray right about the line of scrimmage. The rains keep coming down. Total yards UCF 210, Marshall 36. Third down play. Cato, the freshman. Middle of the field. Jonathan Davis got his hand on it.
Great defensive play there by Jonathan Davis. Drops back in coverage, trips right. Little crossing pattern over the middle. He falls back, follows the eyes of the quarterback, reaches out, knocks it away. Again, UCF defense playing strong. And really, you know, when you 3 and out, that's something that Marshall didn't have against Louisville. They didn't have any 3 and outs. They kept moving the ball. Coaches talk about that. You move the chains, get a couple of first downs, create field position. UCF does it with the punt. Then the defense goes out and holds them. They're going to be set up again offensively in great field position.
Case Whitehead to punt it away. Short on this one. Ball just kind of sticks in the mud. Inside the 50. UCF with great field position at the 48. And who will UCF's quarterback be when we come back? We'll find out. David Bauman, Mark Royals with you this evening. We're in the cozy confines of the press box, but the rain continues to fall. Godfrey hands off, and Latavius Murray. It appears to be Bryn Harvey back in the game. So Godfrey still in there for the Knights.
Yeah, Bryn Harvey very effective, already over 100 yards early in the first half here. And Jeff Godfrey, good numbers, 5 for 6 for 50 yards with the 1 touchdown. And the coaches really want him to start developing more in the pocket, making better reads and better decisions. Kid's a great quarterback. I mean, he can get it done with his feet, with his arms, or whatever. Just a little progression he's going through. He's going to be fine.
Harvey, 12 carries, 116 yards. Here he is again. He's going to lose a yard on this play. It'll be third and about 6.
UCF doing a good job offensively all year of time of possession and winning that battle, and most of the time that's going to tell you who's coming out on top. But I think most of their games they have been the leaders in time of possession, and this third and fourth period is when you really start noticing that by wearing the opposing defenses down.
Speaking of time of possession, Mark, UCF has controlled the ball more than their opponents in 15 of their last 16 games. The only game they did not was against Georgia in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, and UCF still won that game. Little pressure. Quick pass, no, incomplete. Ball was tipped. Godfrey got rid of it quickly. Marshall brought 6.
Yeah, brought some pressure, and again, if that ball is complete, it's right at the sticks. The route's not far enough. Receivers have to know where that line of scrimmage is and make your pattern accordingly. When you make the reception, you have to be past the marker there to keep the chains moving.
Bonner gets away from about the 43. And let's see if Robinson can get to it. Yes, he does. Great job down to the 1. The pressure will be on the Marshall offense inside the 2-yard line. Mark Royals, if the fans are braving the conditions, why don't we just do our broadcast from outside the booth?
I'll tell you what, why don't you go ahead and do that and let me know how it is down there. Maybe I'll join you.
Marshall run attack is stuffed right at the line of scrimmage. That ball will come back out to about the 2.
And I'll tell you, Marshall's in danger right here of letting this game get out of hand. They're backed up. They're down 14 points. They've really established nothing offensively. If they're not able to move these chains and at least give their punter some room to try to create some field position, This game can get out of hand.
Ray Shipman said he had that football. The referees moved the ball back ahead to where forward progress was stopped, and they say it is Marshall football. Cato under center. Some confusion at the line. Toby Jackson calling for a flag. Victor Gray, was he held? Yes, there's the flag in the end zone. This ball's coming back. It may have been completed.
That's going to be a safety right there. If you're guilty of holding in the end zone, that's going to give UCF 2 points. There you go.
So the UCF defense has now scored more than the Marshall offense in this game. 16-0 the score. Victor Gray will be credited for that play.
Great pressure by Victor Gray. The offensive lineman really has no choice to try to grab a little more jersey than he should. Doesn't want to get his quarterback killed. But in the same sense, he cost his team 2 points.
That's the first safety recorded by the Knights since the game at Tulsa, October 26th, 2008.
I'll tell you, it sets your team up again. They're going to get the ball again in good field position. Marshall will have the free kick. UCF will be on the march again. Those are the mistakes you talk about, penalties and things that will get you beat when you're backed up like that and you hold. You're putting points on the board from the opposition we just talked about. They're in danger of letting this game get out of hand. Now they're going to be, their defense is going to be in bad field position again.
Let's check in with Jeff Radcliffe, who's on this sopping wet field.
I have a question for you guys. Do you have any extra socks?
No.
Because there are puddles in my shoes, puddles on the field. Robert Sample, director of Sports Turf, saying by the time we hit the fourth quarter, we're going to have 8 inches of rain, which is unprecedented on this field. The good news is the more it rains, the more the fans get amped up. They're loving it here at the Bright House.
You know, it's interesting. This Zombie Nation gets rolling. The stadium starts rocking. Even George O'Leary talked about that's his favorite part of college football, Zombie Nation.
Kicking away from the 20.
Interesting. Typically, that's going to be a punt in that situation. They chose to kick it off instead.
Williams caught it in stride. Good return. Past the 50. Look at Williams slide into about the 42.
Good, strong run there. Good blocking up front and just refusing to go down. Kymus Williams with a good, strong run. Special teams is an area UCF has been victimized by in a couple of their previous games, but look at this tough run. He's getting hit by 3 and 4 players and refuses to go down to get those additional yards.
Ball spotted at the 44, Godfrey, with Harvey alongside him. Shotgun set. Harvey picks up a nice block, makes a defender miss, and down to the 37-yard line. Don't miss another UCF football game this season, fans. Purchase affordable Conference USA ticket mini plans at the UCFathletics.com website or by calling UCF Athletics at 407-823-1000. That's 407-823-1000. You can hardly see the fans through the rain.
I'm impressed that as many came out that did. Such a great environment for a game, and this place is packed. It's going to be something special.
This could be a free play. Nope, refs blow it dead. Well, all our cameras are still working, Mark Royals, but the referee microphone is toast.
I'm surprised anything's working, but if you're calling offsides, it's typically going to be on the defense, not the offense. So
it is going against the
defense. I think they're going to reverse that, and UCF's going to be the beneficiary of 5 free yards and a first down. Yeah, clearly offsides there by big number 98, Delvin Johnson.
Johnson, a senior from Woodruff, South Carolina. First and 10 from the 33. Another handoff. Harvey with a pretty good size hole. That's a good gain of about 8.
Theo Goins with a nice pull up the middle there to open the crease for Harvey. And, you know, Harvey's done a really nice job from the time he was a freshman. His vision wasn't what it is now. He's able to find those holes, a slashing type runner, and he gets through them quick. He's not a north-south kind of guy, or excuse me, east-west kind of guy. He's going to try to get in that hole and get up there quickly.
Safe to say he is fully recovered now. Missed all last season with an ACL tear. Bounces off a defender, but then runs into a wall. There's Tyson Gale on the tackle there, the senior from Alva, Oklahoma, 6'3", 228.
You know, Brent Harvey, as you mentioned, with that ACL, it takes time when you get back on the field and you're taking shots and you're cutting and, you know, even running full speed, stops and starts. It takes a while mentally to get over that hurdle to where you feel like you're completely 100% back. And I think they've done a really good job. They've had the luxury of having 2 really good backs also to kind of ease him back into that starting role.
Latavius Murray and Ronnie Weaver have each come off the bench tonight. Harvey, the spin move to get the first down. It's close. They might take a look at this.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be about a half yard short or maybe a yard. And this is where, when you have the confidence in this offensive line, like I know George O'Leary does, you're going to say, if we can't get a half a yard, we don't deserve any more points. They're probably going to go for this on 4th down. The fans certainly agree with that call.
Marshall making some changes now, running in guys late. Let's see if Marshall makes the necessary adjustments here on 4th down. The handoff, Harvey, and that's going to be a first down. Stretching ahead.
Yeah, you credit Brent Harvey right there, because initially at the line of scrimmage there's not a lot of movement, but he keeps the legs churning and finds a little crease to the left and just picks it up. But give him a lot of credit there for that second effort.
First and 10 from the 23. Harvey in the backfield behind Godfrey. Godfrey rolls out, rolling right. Wharton wide open. Wharton catches, takes a shot, and a flag comes in. It's probably going to be helmet to helmet.
Tell you what, that's a great catch by number 9, J.J. Wharton, with a vicious hit on the defensive side.
That was Darrell Roberts on the hit.
You have man coverage, and he just comes across the middle, and look at that shot, helmet to helmet, knocks his own helmet off. Number 39 there, Darrell Roberts with a big stick. Probably going to cost him a few additional yards going helmet to helmet, but a great catch by number 9, Wharton, for taking a vicious hit.
Yeah, the fans looking at the replay now, because Wharton shaking his head there, getting looked at on the sideline. Both players coming at each other, creating the hit.
Well, I think that's a good call. I mean, at some point you have to draw the line. Helmet to helmet is typically if you're a defenseless player or you're hitting a quarterback, but he's just making a good, tough heads-up play. I don't think there was any intent there. They happen to collide heads. I think it's a judgment call by the officials, but you're normally going to see that call a roughness if you have a defenseless player and they get hit in the head like that.
2 catches for Wharton, 36 yards. We'll have to check in with Jeff Radcliffe in a bit and see if Wharton's okay. Wicked shot. And a nice tackle there. That's Roberts on back-to-back plays with tackles.
Brent Harvey trying to bounce it outside, really nothing up the middle, and unable to get it on the edge. Brought down for no gain. Maybe a loss on the play.
It is marked back to the 8-yard line, 2nd and goal.
This is an area UCF has been very good at, very efficient in the red zone. Either a touchdown or a field goal, I think, on most of their red zone possessions throughout this year. So they've been getting it done offensively here in the red zone.
Harvey has it to the 5. Well, Mark, what do you think we're going to see here on 3rd down with a 16-0 lead for the UCF Knights?
You've been running the ball very well. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see an I formation and a play action pass, getting Jeff Godfrey on the edge to where he can find somebody open or run it in himself.
Well, Wharton just came back into the game, so it appears he is A-OK.
When you have a dynamic quarterback like number 2 right there, you want to give him as much opportunity to make a play as possible. They're going to take him out of the shotgun right here and give him a chance to make a play for him.
3 receivers left. The tight end Adam Nisley to the right. And here comes some pressure. Godfrey eluding, throwing into the end zone, just throws it out of bounds. That's actually a safe play right there. 4th and goal.
That's a holding penalty, which Marshall will have to make a decision here. You might consider taking that in these conditions to back him up. Typically, you want to take the down.
Yeah, the coaches are waving it off. The coaches there on the sideline, actually on the football field, they're at the 20. So the ball will stay at the 5.
They have decided to decline that penalty, and you never know with these conditions what will happen. But when it is raining and ball security is an issue, maybe you take that 10-yard penalty and back them up a little bit.
Sean Moffitt getting a field goal attempt right here, the freshman. Well, Bonner trying to stay on his feet. Let's see what he's going to do. Bonner out at the 10-yard line, and a flag. This could be a first down for UCF.
That is going to be a first down for UCF for a hit out of bounds. You've got to know where you are on the football field.
Look at Doc Holliday right in the referee's face there at the 10.
We're going to have a discussion about that, but it looked like it was a late hit out of bounds. Whether it was flagrant or not, we'll take another look at it.
No flag on the play.
It's clearly out of bounds. And there was no intent there, but the fact is there was a collision, so you can make a case right there for a flag, but they are going to wave that off.
All right, we'll step aside. Marshall football when we come back. Steady downpours here in the City Beautiful. We're at Bright House Network Stadium. Marshall trails UCF 16-0. The flag was waved off on the sideline, and Marshall takes over. That tackle in the backfield made by Josh Wofford.
Yeah, Josh Wofford doing a great job there defensively, getting pressure and making a play in the backfield. And Marshall defensively with a huge stop, already down 16-0, in danger of this game getting out of hand. So a great defensive stop there. They just have not been able to manufacture any kind of rhythm offensively whatsoever.
Marshall has been outscored 76-20 in the second quarter this season. Cato trying to get by Darius Knoll, and here comes the pressure. Boy, he took a shot, and that pass, is it complete? Yes, gain of 1. That's the tight end, Gator Hoskins.
Yeah, great play there by Darius Knoll, coming off the edge with tremendous pressure.
No, incomplete now the call.
Not allowing Rakeem Cato an opportunity to find a receiver, and Coach talks about it all the time. You've got to get after the quarterback. If he can stand back there with time, it doesn't matter who it is, he can find an open receiver.
Jonathan Davis trying to get this crowd fired up. Little swing pass. Van, the freshman. Darius Knoll knocks him out of bounds. Shy of the first down. It'll be 4th down.
In that situation, if you're a defense, you don't want any plays to get behind you or enough yards to get that first down. So something underneath, run him out of bounds, force him to punt. Special teams play here and put your offense in great field position again.
J.J. Wharton back to receive.
Yeah, Case Whitehead punting this ball away was the special teams player of the week last week for his efforts. And
another squib. Get away is what the Knights coaches are saying. Field position, 38-yard line. Check out UCF football this season, fans. Affordable tickets, great seats, easy parking. Don't miss another game. Purchase tickets online at UCFathletics.com or by calling 407-823-1000. See you at the Bright House.
Well, if you're UCF with a 16-point lead and you have goals of winning Conference USA again, when you have a team backed up like this, you really got to put your foot on their throat and step on the gas, and they need to manufacture some points here on this drive right before the half.
Here's Murray. He is gang tackled behind the line of scrimmage at about the 40 to be a loss of 2. And Coach O'Leary, boy, he was intense this week. He had the players practice on Saturday. He says that was probably the first time he could ever remember having a team practice on a Saturday of a bye week. And really peeved at some of the comments by the Marshall beat writers. He says we're going to take it to him.
Yeah, he said, you know, you can call me a bully if you want, but if I'm backing it up, I'm not really a bully. And, you know, it's good to be looked at in Conference USA as a team to beat and a measuring stick for the rest of the team. So he's got his team in good shape.
Godfrey to throw. Lets it go. Floyd has it. Gain of about 3. It'll be 3rd and 9. And UCF doesn't necessarily have a rival in football. Still a young program, but if any rivalry is brewing, it would be Marshall, possibly East Carolina. But Coach O'Leary says this with the talk that's been back and forth. Not only the football programs, the basketball programs have gone back and forth with some chatter over the last few years.
Well, I'll tell you, whether it's conference or out of conference, a logical rival would be right down the street, I-4. Go to Tampa and USF. I mean, there's been talk about that, and Coach O'Leary's all for it. He said, you know, why not make that an annual Halloween game? And that clearly becomes a rivalry right away. And, you know, he's all for it as you look at his openers, 3-3 record there. But just a fun guy to spend time with. I get a kick out of him and how he handles the media. And, again, if you don't want to hear an answer, you better not ask him the question. But you know what he's good at is he holds people accountable. Like if he asks you something, he'll want to know if you're going to stand your ground by your answer. He doesn't want the old cliche answers. If you believe it, he wants you to kind of stand up and fight for it. So.
Oh, I know what that's like, Mark.
Yeah. Yes, you do.
Coach O'Leary, quick-witted, no-nonsense guy. Boy, he does have a sense of humor, too. The throw, and that slips out of the hands of A.J. Guyton.
Yeah, and you look at that play call right there. A.J. Guyton's going to catch that ball, and he's going to be relatively 4 yards short of first down yardage. So I'm not sure if there's a communication problem going on with the play calling. But if you need 10 yards, your route's got to be 9 or 10 yards. So if he catches it right there, maybe he's able to turn it up and get that first down, but he's still clearly 4 yards short on that route.
That's going to go against UCF, push it back a couple of yards.
Give Marshall's defense a lot of credit right there. They've been in some very bad field position the whole first half and only surrendering 16 points. They've got a feel going in at halftime that they've done a pretty good job.
You're right, Mark. It could be worse.
Yeah, you get field position like that, you're at the least going to give up field goals, and they've been pretty stout. Bonner's last punt was down at the 2. Now that's in the end zone. It'll be a touchback. Marshall taking over at the 20. The Toyota Sports Connection is your daily program dedicated to the sports fan. Tune in every night at 11 o'clock for a post-game wrap-up on your local teams. Bright House Sports Network, keeping it local, only on Bright House Networks. We'll have a recap of this game on the Sports Connection tonight. Yeah, with 43 seconds to go in the half and Marshall down 16, you might want to be a little careful with how you go about trying to move this. You don't want to go in any further down than you are. But again, if this game could be a lot worse than it is, and if there's something to really feel positive about out of this first half, it's just that. And they've had the ball in their defense on the 40-yard line going in, and twice have turned away UCF. So you got to be proud of how they played so far in this first half.
That's right. Handoff. Tron Martinez leaps A.J. Bouye, but doesn't get far. Get him about 2.
Clock is stopped. 35 seconds to go. if you're Marshall, you go in and try to figure out some way to create some offensive production, as UCF has really shut them down and they've not been able to get anything going. Adjustments are a big deal. You go in at halftime and all teams do it. Can you make those necessary adjustments to open up some things, switch it around, maybe go some no huddle? But it's a tough night with this rain and all the things that are going on.
You go back to the FIU game right before halftime, a crucial mistake really cost the Knights. Self-inflicted wounds. UCF got out to the early 7-0 lead, but then this play right here, Jeff Godfrey doing a little too much. Went the other way for 6.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate thing, and you know he's making a case right there. It was his hand moving forward.
They never went to the instant replay.
Never went to the replay. That's one you have to take a look at. But they just weren't able to capitalize on opportunities, and those big mistakes like that will get you beat.
Boy, FIU celebrated that one. Another handoff. Minimal gain, 33 seconds, clock stops.
Although
he's got his goggles on.
You know, these guys are having a good time, and they were probably tailgating in this as well, so maybe a little lathered up and not even feeling the effects of the rain. But UCF calling another timeout here, 33 seconds to go, trying to force Marshall to have to punt the ball away. You never know in these conditions what could happen.
We might see a student body right play here coming up on 3rd down. Speaking of student body right, how about the enrollment sizes? Marshall 14,000, UCF second largest enrollment in the nation, 56,235. Arizona State at 58,371.
In my day-to-day, when I talk to people about UCF and what's going on up here, and I tell them how large this university is and what they have to offer, most people are shocked. It's kind of like this hidden gem, and you know I think it's starting to be more well-known. People are understanding what it has to offer, not just from their sports programs, but their academics as well.
Taking a knee is Cato. And that'll do it for the first half. UCF in control, 16-0, moving the ball at ease on several occasions. Jonathan Davis with some words to Cato, and Cato still barking. Jeff Godfrey makes his way into the tunnel. Davis, though, boy, he's sat out against BYU for disciplinary reasons. Really lucky to be back in this one. Jeff Radcliffe with head coach George O'Leary.
Coach, I don't know if it's time to start pairing up the animals and building an ark, but how do you feel your kids have handled these conditions?
Well, I thought we went out and handled the conditions fairly well. We had 1 turnover, but you know, offensively got the ball in pretty good position there inside the 50. We got to make something happen there, and that's going in to be talked about at halftime.
Besides less rain, what do you want to see more of in the second half?
Well, again, defensively is playing very secure. Offensively, got to start moving the ball and sustaining blocks.
Thank you, Coach. George O'Leary's Knights up 16-0 at the half. Let's send it back upstairs to that warm, toasty, and dry press box.
Sarcasm noted, Jeff.
You're absolutely right, Jeff. And Mark goes back to exactly what you were saying. You got to capitalize inside enemy territory.
Yeah, he'll talk all the time. If you have plays to make, you got to make them.
UCF leads 16-0 here at halftime. We'll talk with soccer coach Brian Cunningham coming up here at the break. 16-0, Knights leading the Thundering Herd here at Bright House Network Stadium. This is a college football telecast on BHSN. David Bauman alongside Mark Royals. And UCF has only been outscored in 1 quarter this season. A halftime hangover perhaps. Look at that 3rd quarter. Opponents have outscored UCF 24-21 in this 3rd period.
And that's normally the critical period. When you go in at halftime, you make your adjustments. That's when you want to come out and reestablish yourself for the remainder of the game. Only outscored by a field goal, but you know, coming out of the locker room at halftime is a big deal. You got to come out fast, create that momentum, and we'll see if they can get that going. But I'm sure they got an ear from Coach O'Leary. He talked about it. We talked about it on air. When you have field position like that, you have got to take advantage of it and produce points. And I'm sure they heard about it.
There's no question he is not satisfied with this 16-0 lead at the break. Rakeem Cato and Jonathan Davis were barking at each other before the teams exited the field. UCF has now outscored opponents 77-13 in first halves.
Well, he was quick to tell us this week that guys making mistakes, and the 2 games that they lost were a result of that. He's going to start pulling people off the field, and special teams. He talked about putting some of the starting players on those coverage teams and things like that. So, he means business.
See the pink in the stands. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. As Nick Catoy kicks it away. Booker back to receive. From the 7, Booker. Decent return to the 25. Rakeem Cato really struggling in the first half. Just 3 of 10 for 16 yards. He also lost a fumble. Was basically sacked in the end zone. The team was flagged for a holding call, which resulted in a safety for the Knights. And there's Doc Holliday.
Yeah, and I'm sure, you look at just his second season. I don't know if he's had enough time yet to exactly get this program headed in his direction. But I'm sure he went in and told his team, listen, guys, we're only 16 points down. This could be a lot worse. Let's go out on that opening drive and establish ourselves on the offensive side.
And a tackle made, gain of about 2. It's Tron Martinez on the carry. UCF with 246 total yards of offense in the first half. Marshall just 47.
Yeah,
There's Darius Nall.
That's playing really good on that side of the ball. As you look at Darius Nall, he's 6'3", 246 pounds. The redshirt senior, he's a guy that gets after you. And that whole defensive side there has played very, very good football in the first half.
The handoff, Lynham chasing, and the hit by Bouye knocks Martinez out at about the 31-yard line.
That's a great job of pursuit there by the defense, not letting the running back turn the corner and get on the edge for any additional yards. They just string it out until there's no more field, push him out of bounds, setting up a 3rd down and long.
It's 3rd and 5. Rain still coming down steady. Cato looking one way, goes the other, and he is taken down right at about the line of scrimmage, maybe a bit short. If it is behind the line of scrimmage, it would be called a sack, but that flag stick doesn't move at all. 4th and 5.
Good pressure by Troy Davis there, flushing Cato out of the pocket. He avoids that tackle, but the defenders are quick to get him on the ground, forcing up a punting situation. And let's see if UCF has gotten that offense figured out where they can get some points on the board.
Marshall just 1 of 8 on 3rd downs. Boy, they almost picked up a 1st down. One of the Knights defenders had to get behind the line of scrimmage. Oh, Josh Robinson took a shot. Wow. A good return, but boy, he went down hard. Robinson slow to get up. 16-0 UCF. Some Marshall fans in attendance here tonight. UCF picked up a personal foul after the play, moving the ball back. Knights have recorded 13 first downs. As Bryn Harvey looks for number 14, he's about a half a yard short.
Yeah,
13-1 in first downs.
Does a lot of things for your team. If you're not scoring points and you're still able to pick up first downs, then you can create that field position. But when you dominate like that, you also have to dominate on the scoreboard, which, they're up 16-0. That's somewhat of a comfortable lead, but this game could easily be out of hand.
The Las Vegas odds makers have had UCF anywhere from a 2-touchdown favorite to 17-point favorite throughout the course of the week. Harvey, and he spins. Is he going to get it? Helmet comes off.
Good effort by
Marshall
Bryn
defender
Harvey.
Omar Brown.
Yeah, Omar Brown losing his helmet there, but Bryn Harvey doing a good job of spinning out of that tackle and picking up another first down.
That's Brown's 12th tackle.
Arguably their best defender, Omar Brown, is a tough defender. Gets in there, he's a physical presence, but he's also a ball hawk, always around the ball.
He celebrated a little too early on that play. Harvey got the first down. Nisley, and that kicks off his knee.
Yeah, the big tight end out in the flats there, and definitely a catchable ball, one he'd like to have back. You get him in space with that big body and get him rumbling down the field.
He had some room to go.
You can see he just got into his legs there and bounced off of his thigh pad, but that's something he worked really hard on in the offseason, was to become a better pass catcher and a better route runner. We talked about his strength, got great size, just one got away.
Yeah, he's been a reliable target all year. 10 catches on the season for Nisley. Harvey, a shifty move as Omar Brown tries to rip that football out of there. It's a solid gain. Move the ball to about the 43-yard line.
It sets up a very manageable third down, third and short, gives you some options. Still can run the ball, a little play action pass, maybe a little screen to the outside there, but it's all about percentages on the offense, and that's what they talk about. Get yourself in manageable down and distance, and they've got that at 3rd and 4.
UCF just 2 of 7 on third downs. Godfrey deep, and A.J. Guyton didn't see it as the ball was nearly intercepted by Roberts.
A little confusion on the route there. It looked like A.J. Guyton didn't know the ball was heading his way. Unfortunately for UCF, that ball's not picked off, but good time for Jeff Godfrey to deliver the ball. And if A.J. Guyton was his intended target, and they're talking about the confusion on the route right there, they're lucky to come away there not turning the ball over.
Bonner to punt. Kicks it from about the 32. Fair catch made by Booker at about the 11. The UCF leads 16-0. It's Marshall football. Doc Holliday's Marshall Thundering Herd have the football. Cato to throw down the sideline. That ball is out of bounds, out of reach. Marshall has lost 6 consecutive games to UCF since 2005. Cato swing pass. Quick made and a quick tackle. It's Troy Gray. Jermaine Kelson came up with that catch. Marshall will have it on 3rd down. It's 3rd and 9. Cato from the gun. Davis around the outside, bringing pressure. Ball is nearly intercepted. Clayton gathers after that tipped ball. Gator Hoskins initially got a hand on it. Gathers. Tried to scoop it before it hit the ground, couldn't come up with it. Davis applied pressure. Boom, what a hit.
Again, Marshall unable to do anything offensively. UCF likely to end up with good field position again.
Whitehead back to punt. Robinson will get another crack at it. Returning. Whitehead gets it away. It's past the 50, but not much farther than that, to about the 43-yard line. It'll be UCF football. 16-0 Knights lead. The UCF band is bundled up for this one. The rains continue to fall. Quick pitch. That's Williams, who gains 1. UCF dominating in time of possession, 23 minutes, as opposed to Marshall's 12 minutes.
Yeah, Omar Brown there defensively doing a good job of staying home on the end around. Just for a 1-yard gain, but that's good lane discipline. Sometimes you can get out of position, your opponent gets on the edge, but nothing doing there. Omar Brown always in good position there defensively.
2nd and 8. Godfrey to throw. He's got a receiver. And finally a catch made. That's Josh Reese. Coach O'Leary has wanted to see some more out of his freshman receivers, and Reese comes up with a first down grab.
Yeah, Josh Reese doing a good job there of waiting on the pass and knowing where the defender is to be able to sidestep him to move up the field for additional yards to get the first down. But yeah, he's a guy that they're very excited about and expect a lot of production from as a young player.
Reese had 97 yards in the opener against Charleston Southern. That's his first gain since. Harvey takes a shot. Nice tackle right there. Jermaine Holmes, a freshman from Valdosta, Georgia, making that tackle. 5'11", 238.
Yeah, Jermaine Holmes, if he's not there to make that play, it's well blocked and kind of off to the races. So good job of plugging up the hole there, tackling Brent Harvey for a very short gain.
2nd and 9. Reese and Williams to Godfrey's right. Godfrey changing it up. Quick throw. Reese again. And the ball pops out. Incomplete the call.
Yeah, good tackle there. Lodging the ball loose for no gain. But Jeff Godfrey does a good job there of recognizing man coverage. Gets the ball on the outside. Unfortunately, not able to come down the reception, bringing up a 3rd and long. Exactly what they don't want as an offense, putting yourself in a 3rd and long situation.
Rennell Hall comes in. At the wide receiver position. Hall near side. A.J. Guyton and Kemis Williams to Godfrey's right as well. That throw is out of play. And it'll be 4th down.
Tell you what, you got to give Marshall's defensive secondary a lot of credit. They've done a good job because the offensive line from UCF has provided adequate protection for Jeff Godfrey to get back in the pocket and try to find a receiver. But for the most part, all night, there's been nobody open. That defensive secondary is covered like a blanket, doing a very nice job.
Andre Booker back to receive. Ball is down at about the 20, hit at the 19. UCF leading 16-0. There's a look at John Skladany, the defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I talked to him a little bit during the week, and he talked about Marshall and how effective they are offensively, spreading the ball around, and they get after you. And so far tonight, he's done a really good job of containing Cato. He's really had no time, and the defensive secondary has done a good job of coverage.
Cato to throw. Nope, Cato just down to the ground. Tripped up in the backfield. Stretches back to the line of scrimmage. Victor Gray in on that tackle.
Yeah, you look at the pressure Coach O'Leary talked about. If a quarterback stands in the pocket and is able to deliver the ball down the field for any significant yardage, he's not blaming the defensive backs if it's complete. He's blaming the linemen for not getting pressure. And we all know if the quarterback can stand back there in the pocket with time, he's going to find a receiver. So that defensive line has done a good job of harassing Cato all night.
That was actually a gain of 1. Quick pass near the sideline and out of bounds. That's a gain of about 7. C.J. Crawford, the backup tight end out of Huntington, West Virginia. We welcome in the viewers from Huntington watching the WSAZ. That was our hometown player making that catch. 6'2", 228 tight end. Tron Martinez gets Marshall's 2nd first down of the game.
That's a long time to go without a first down, and you know you're still only 16 points down. So to be that inefficient on the offensive side and still have a chance to get yourself a drive and get some points and get back in this football game, you know, Marshall's certainly not out of this.
A strange season in some ways for Marshall. They lost to West Virginia 34-13 to start the season. Cato throws deep. Sideline. That catch is complete. That's Dobson to the 38. Jeff Radcliffe on the sideline.
Fellas, defensive line coach Jim Panagas has got it's quite an athlete as well. Now, Panagas has been here for 5 seasons now. He's coached the likes of Torrell Troop, but he's just as proud of his son. Famous athlete, but not for football. He's not following in his dad's footsteps. He's playing golf. In fact, he's a sophomore at Timber Creek. He's one of the top golfers in the state, averaging 2 strokes under par. And football is in the family with this young man. And he's not playing football because it's not challenging mentally enough, he says. It's more of a physical game. That his uncle is Mike Tice, the former NFL Vikings head coach. So football, not in the future, but golf for Jack Panagas, a big deal.
That mark, he averages 2 under. Watch out, you don't want to challenge him. Cato, that pass is complete for a first down. Evans with that first down grab. That's Evans' first catch of the game. First down at the 26. Cato under pressure, eludes Troy Davis. The throw, and that cannot be good. Evans dropped that one. Catchable ball. Went up for it, bounced off his hands. Evans let that one get away. Ishmael made the hit. Here's Martinez up the gut, and Victor Gray makes the tackle. Saw that young man in a Florida Gators sweatshirt dancing in the crowd. The Gators had nothing to dance about today. Very difficult day for Florida teams. Number 17 Florida lost to number 1 LSU 41-11. Miami lost to Virginia Tech 38-35, and Florida State lost to Wake Forest 35-30. Same score Clemson beat Florida State by the week before. Third down play from the 29. Cato, that ball is out of the hands of his intended receiver, Antavius Wilson. And Cato screaming as he heads back to the sideline. A couple of drop passes. Brings up fourth down. And the frustration. Freshman letting it show. This is freshman Justin Haig getting a chance at field goals tonight. Coach Holliday making the switch there. Haig up and no good. Both UCF and Marshall making changes at the kicker position. That does not pay off for the Herd. UCF continues to lead 16-0. 4 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in the third quarter. There's some solid dance moves. Cato trying to rally his teammates. Well, he led his Miami Central team to a state championship in 6A football at the Citrus Bowl right here in Orlando just last season. Oh, Blake Bortles is in the game and he goes down. Miscommunication there. Center quarterback trouble. Vinny Curry in on that. Another tackle for loss. Bortles from Oviedo, redshirt freshman. He's earned the right for playing time for these UCF Knights. #1 in Conference USA in passer efficiency, 186.40. He's completed 12 of 15 passes for 190 yards this year. A handoff. It's Harvey in the backfield. Vinny Curry again. The ball came loose. Marshall has the football and into the end zone goes the thundering Herd. That's Rashad Jackson. Back-to-back plays by Vinny Curry leads to 6 points on the board for the Herd. The injured player helped off is Marcus Aiken. We'll take another look at this. The referees will review the play. 3 minutes and 17 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
Yeah, you got to take a look at that. And again, small plays like that, when you hang around long enough, that's all it takes to get you back in the ball game. And to Marshall's credit, they could be blown out of this football game. They showed a little life offensively their last drive, and now the defense sort of picked up on that with a big play and potential touchdown to get them right back in this.
Well, the halftime hangover looms again for the Knights.
I think this is good. I like when they take a look at these kind of plays because it could be a difference maker in the game. So you want to get it right. That's the bottom line.
It is a touchdown. Confirmed after the replay booth.
So just a simple handoff up the middle and a good aggressive tackle and strip. The ball's on the ground. You make a play when it's there to be made. Rashad Jackson scooping it up for the score. They're right back in this football game.
Self-inflicted wounds for the Knights yet again.
Coach O'Leary talked about it during the week. Fumbles, penalties, missed opportunities.
Drop passes.
Drop passes, and that's exactly what's happened tonight with the field position they've had. Those are missed opportunities. Now you have Marshall, since they're down 16-6, they have to go for 2 to cut this to a 1-score game.
Cato with a chance to make it 1 possession. Looking Evans' way, and that's over his head. The score is 16-6, UCF. Marshall with a little momentum, 3:17 remaining in the third.
Great coverage by A.J. Boyer there to deny the 2-point conversion, but Marshall with a little life. And, you know, you look for a spark to kind of get your team back in it. And they've been kind of dormant and silent all night with the big defensive play. A lot of ways to get back in a football game. And now you can see the energy on the sideline. These guys know they're in a football game. They haven't beaten UCF in a number of tries, 6 in a row. They want to try to put an end to that tonight, but you got to give them credit for hanging around, and now only down by 10 points.
UCF not playing the solid special teams it typically does. Some changes in the lineup, going back to some more senior leadership. Look at that miscue early on in the season. Josh Robinson, these types of plays cost him his job. It was J.J. Wharton's job, and then Wharton, the youngster, with a really tough play at BYU. That led to a Cougars score and an eventual Cougars win.
Yeah, and you can see Coach O'Leary going over and having a few words with that, but it's offense, defense, and special teams. And when the ball is being kicked in special teams, the #1 priority is ball security. You've got to take care of it, and if not, it'll cost you. And that's the big reason why UCF is 2-2, and now they've let Marshall back in this game due to a miscue and turnover. Josh Robinson, very secure normally with the ball, does a good job defensively, making interceptions, got great hands. Sometimes, you know, I could see what he was trying to do on the one punt, didn't want it to hit the ground and get additional yards, but you've got to maintain ball security.
And no Quincy McDuffie, out with an injury tonight, so it's Williams. UCF is stuffed at about the 29, and fans want a late flag.
Yeah, you can make an argument right there for a flag. That whistle's clearly blown, and you throw 82 there. Kymus Williams to the ground. The official could easily throw a flag on that.
Knights averaging 17.86 yards a return entering tonight's game, ranked 112th in the nation. Punt returns 0.43 yards a return. That's 116th.
Now, if you're UCF, no need to panic here. Go back to what you do well, establish the ground game, play action pass off of it, get a nice drive, go down and get some points. This will test your mettle. We'll see what they're made of.
It's Marshall defense with a little bit of confidence right now. Curry giving chase. Godfrey, boy, made a move. Ran into his own man. And that's Vinny Curry, who has made 3 consecutive plays in the backfield.
Yeah, Vinny Curry doing a great job right there of containment and getting after the quarterback. He's known for pressure. He likes to cut from the outside. But you can see that's very good discipline on his part, not letting the quarterback get outside the pocket, and then he turns and chases down the quarterback to make the play.
He took out Ronnie Weaver and Jeff Godfrey on that play.
He's a slasher from that end position, and he can bring a lot of pressure from the outside.
A potential 3rd-round pick, perhaps, in the upcoming NFL draft. Screen pass to Reese. Spins to about the 36. Be 3 yards shy of a first down.
Josh Reese doing a good job there of getting the ball and cutting it back up the middle, allowing his blockers to get in front of him for some much needed yardage. The UCF offense has gone kind of dormant after starting off just controlling the football now instead of a 3rd and short, but they really need to get some momentum here and move this ball down the field and create some field position.
Ronnie Weaver in the backfield. Back in action after fumbling early in the first quarter. Weaver gets it, and he is stuffed. It's going to be 4th down, and this thundering herd team now loaded with momentum.
Yeah, they're starting to feel it, and the last punting attempt UCF had, Marshall was very close to blocking it. Don't be surprised to see the pressure on this punt coming after the punter. David Bonner done a nice job all night, down in the ball, inside the 20, out for his 6th punt of the night.
Shanks it. Let's see where it's marked. Out of bounds.
Did you see the officials coming up to mark that? Part of that is because the last punt that he had, it was close to being blocked. He kind of rushed it. The snap was a little bit high. Goes off the side of his foot. You can see Coach O'Leary tell him, we got to have you. We got to have you.
That's good field position for Marshall. Vinny Curry on that defensive line making things happen in the backfield. 31 career games, 39.5 tackles for a loss, 21 sacks. Look at Josh Robinson of the Knights, 31 games, 112 tackles, 10 interceptions.
Yeah, Josh Robinson, both these guys are playmakers. Vinny Curry there, he's just got a motor. He never stops. He's always churning, and he puts himself in position to make plays. And, you know, we saw him earlier with containment and then turning around and making the tackle, but both of those guys, very effective playmakers.
Screen up the middle. Tron Martinez. Good gain. Still on his feet. Ishmael's got him wrapped up. Whistles blow. We get a little extra pushing and shoving here. Be a
Nice
first down for Marshall, 18-yard gain.
Yeah, good job there offensively.
Here comes the hurry up.
Getting that momentum again. They're switching it up a little bit, trying to create some indecision on the defense's part.
Cato had just 16 yards passing in the first half, 18 yards on that one play alone. Handoff. Three Knights defenders in there. Null, Ishmael, Davis, John Skladany, veteran coach, back with the Knights. Left briefly for a job at Houston. Coach O'Leary brought him back in the offseason.
Yeah, he's done a nice job. The kids respect him, and they've played well all year, being tested tonight.
Well, that's it. The third quarter is complete. Another lackluster third quarter for the Knights. Their lead is down to 10. 16-6 the score. Fourth quarter when we come back. It just keeps on raining here in Orlando. Rakeem Cato back to pass. Throws it deep. Up for grabs and incomplete. That was C.J. Crawford, and Clayton Gathers back there. Jeff Radcliffe on the sideline. Jeff.
Hey, I'm down here on the Marshall sideline. Renewed sense of vigor and enthusiasm, obviously, getting back into this game. And it's all a reflection of their head coach, Doc Holliday, who they love because he is a native son from Hurricane, West Virginia. Played his football at West Virginia and coached under Don Nehlen for about a decade and a half. And they love him at Marshall, not just because he's from West Virginia, but because he's also coaching at Marshall. He's took on 4 guys from the Mountain State on his coaching staff, and there's no truth to the rumor that when he offered those 4 gentlemen jobs, that he didn't proclaim, "I'm your Huckleberry."
Well, an incomplete pass to Eric Frohnapple. The referees actually getting in the way a little bit. That incomplete pass. It's a 4th down play. Doc Holliday's going for it. 4th and 7. Some pressure. And incomplete. Out of the hands of Evans. He had his hands on it. And he couldn't hang on. UCF takes over. 16-6 the score. Marshall within 10 points now after recording a defensive touchdown in the third quarter. UCF offense has fallen silent. Ronnie Weaver a gain of 2.
Yeah, I'll tell you, let's not forget Jeff Godfrey, and he's still a relatively young quarterback as a sophomore. And when you have the success that he did last year, defensive coordinators, they have some film, and they can figure out ways to try to confuse him. He came out tonight and played very well in the first half. They had the running game. He had some nice touch passes there. You see the touchdown. But they're confusing him. They're throwing different looks at him. And, you know, defensive coordinators are pretty smart, so they'll figure out ways to attack you.
He's not really running the football like he typically does. Another handoff. Minimal. Yeah, you can hear the boo birds coming out.
Yeah, Delvin Johnson there getting penetration up the middle, tracking the running back down and throwing him on the ground for no gain. But this Marshall defense has really stepped up their game. And let's not forget, against Louisville, they were down in that game for most of it and ended up coming back late in the fourth quarter to win that. They've managed to crawl back into this game, and a lot of it's due to that defensive pressure. And they shut the running game down, made UCF one-dimensional, and really gotten on their game here on the defensive side.
Boy, Marshall came up with a victory over Southern Miss as well in the second week of the season. Their losses, though, to West Virginia, Ohio, and Virginia Tech. Godfrey to throw. Avoids the rush. Godfrey. No, he just hangs down and goes out of bounds. Weaver throws a crackback block.
Yeah, that's a tough miss by Jeff Godfrey there as he's running kind of against his grain down the field. A.J. Guyton had broken free, He's not in position to really turn his shoulders and get the ball down the field, but the coach talks about awareness. You got to throw that ball up and give your guy a chance to make the play down the field, but he missed a wide open receiver in A.J. Guyton down the field.
Bonner to punt again. Boy, if we had our cameras on that receiver, A.J. Guyton. Ball drops at the 36. And Godfrey just couldn't turn his body enough to launch it downfield. Marshall ball down 10. Ronnie Weaver does it on special teams. Getting looked at on the sideline. Marshall and UCF here in the fourth quarter. It's a 1st and 10 play, under 13 minutes to go in this game. Cato swing pass. Tron Martinez. And chasing from behind is Cam Henderson. The UCF basketball season's right around the corner. Don't miss UCF basketball in action beginning this fall. The UCF Arena, affordable men's and women's basketball season ticket and fan packages are currently available. Great seats, easy parking, purchase online at UCFathletics.com or by calling UCF Athletics at 407-823-1000. Donnie Jones with 6 returning players, 6 newcomers. Screen. And making defenders miss. Troy Gray was in the backfield. Jonathan Davis does clean it up. Jermaine Kelson on the reception.
Yeah, UCF not able to do anything on the offensive side, so they rely on their defense, which is traditionally strong, and they've played well all night. Marshall with a little bit of momentum and a big 3rd down and 6.
Marshall is 2 for 12 on 3rd downs. Davis looked like he was past the line of scrimmage. Another drop ball. Kelson let it go right off his numbers. Cato just shakes his head as he goes over to the sideline.
Looks like they're going to get a 5-yard penalty here on offsides for UCF, so it's going to be 3rd and 1 if that doesn't give them a 1st down.
Offside, number 27 on the defense. 5-yard penalty, will result in a 1st down.
See, that's one of the plays that Coach O'Leary talked about, mistakes. Your 3rd and 6 is a drop pass, you're off the field. He's going to argue that the defender got back before the snap.
That looks like a pleasant discussion.
Yep. And I'm not the official.
Did you think Davis got back?
It looked like to me he was clearly offsides.
Me too. Cato faked, rolling, just trying to throw it away. Does.
Great pressure there defensively. Victor Gray getting after the quarterback.
Kelson getting helped off.
Yeah, he's still at the official there trying to get an explanation that will make him feel good about that call. But that's one of those critical plays. Missed opportunity. You get off the field to get the ball back. Give up a big 1st down by a penalty and just can ill afford to do that.
Victor Gray's numbers on the season.
6'4", 260, always on the go.
Incomplete.
Yeah, UCF mixing it up a little bit on the defensive side, bringing pressure off the left side. Rakeem Cato's been harassed all night. Doesn't have a lot of time to sit back there and find anybody to get the ball to. Bringing up another big 3rd down and long for Marshall.
Another 3rd down play for the Herd. Cato took a shot. Troy Davis, Victor Gray as Cato is slow to get up.
And number 21 there, C.J. Crawford, actually has an opportunity. He's got some space there, but when you get pressure like that from Victor Gray, Akeem Cato's like not able to sit back and make an accurate throw, and that forces the ball behind the receiver for the incomplete pass.
Cato's only 180 pounds. Can't take too many of those shots. Seventh punt for Case Whitehead. This is a pretty good one. Robinson lets it go. And into the end zone. Boy, the Thunder and Herd had a shot of downing that at the 1. They just couldn't get to it. The UCF will take it at the 20. That's some serious dancing going on. That young lady was just dancing a jig.
She was having a good time in the rain.
UCF was once dominating this game. Reese makes the grab, actually hangs on and moves ahead, keeps the legs churning. Nice pickup to about the 37. A bit of sarcasm from the crowd because UCF had 25 total yards of offense in that dreary third quarter.
Well, Jeff Godfrey with a good recognition of man-to-man coverage on the outside and getting it to Josh Reese quick so he can get up the field. A good tough run after the catch for a first down, and it's been a while since we've said that for this UCF offense.
And we've seen both teams struggle to hang on to these receptions at times. Ronnie Weaver just garbled up in the backfield. Marcus Aiken had a free shot at him. 6'4", 270, sophomore.
Yeah, good play right there after the big first down and come up with a yard loss. Good defensive pressure. Able to get Ronnie Weaver on the ground and bring it up a 2nd and long.
Knights defenders having some fun with our cameras. Defense has played well.
They have played well. I don't know if I'm comfortable seeing that with just a 10-point lead, though.
Yeah.
They've still got a lot of work ahead of them.
Nisley hangs on down the sideline, stretches ahead.
Nice job by Adam Nisley there. That's not an easy catch. He has his hands far away from his body. It's a slick ball. Rainy night. He dropped the one earlier on his hip, but he has worked hard, catching hundreds of balls at practice. Nice reception there, turning up the field, bring up a 3rd and short.
Godfrey 12-4 as a starter.
Yeah, you can't deny that. That's not an accident to go out there and win 12 of your first 16 games. And you know, he's had some struggles tonight and a couple of weeks before, but he's well on his way to be a really dynamic player throughout his career.
Oh boy, another 3rd down up the middle run that just gets stuffed. Listen to the boos.
Yeah, Kellen Harris there, number 35, linebacker, 6'3", 234. Just kind of comes up the middle there with a big hit, and again stifling the UCF offense. Give that defense a lot of credit. You're on the road, you start off, you're down 16 points, and they've been fighting all night, and good job on 3rd down.
Andre Booker has averaged 27 yards on 3 returns this season, a fair catch. There is a flag thrown. Let's see what it is.
That's going to be on Marshall. Looks like UCF's going to bring that offense back out. That's one of those critical penalties. You can see Doc Holliday's.
Number 18 on the defense. 5-yard penalty will result in the first down.
Wow.
That is a momentum killer. We saw it earlier with UCF. Doc Holliday is not going to tolerate that. You can see. Tell him you can't make those kind of plays. Those are the plays that will get you beat. Your defense rises up with a big 3rd down, gets the ball back for you.
Here's the replay.
You can see just an early start, jumps a little bit. The officials have a nice vantage point there, throw the flag, and that's a killer right there because now UCF in good field position here at the 50-yard line.
Not only did Kelson jump, he didn't make any attempt to hide the fact that he was offside. He just went looking for the sideline for the referees to throw the flag. Another stuffed play. Johnson again.
Delvin Johnson is he's a man to begin with. 6'3", 312 pounds, and we've talked about him all night. For a guy that big, He's a disruptive force. He moves around very well for a big guy and just make play after play.
14-14 in October as UCF's head coach, still searching for his 100th career win. Quick throw. Reese has it. Gain of 4.
That's still a good play by Jeff Godfrey. He recognizes the coverage. He knows what his read is, and that's what Charlie Taft wants him to do, is recognize the play, get the ball out of his hand, give your receiver a chance to catch the ball, and hopefully get some yards after contact. This ball's a little bit behind him. He's not able to make the reception and get up the field. It brings up a 3rd down and 6. Here comes that torrential rain again. You see the fans trying to stay warm somehow.
It really is coming down now. Under 7.5 minutes to play. Throwing deep. Williams back there. Behind the defense. Hangs on. Taken out of bounds at about the 23. Check that. The 19.
Great job, great protection by your running back there, Ronnie Weaver. You can see there's pressure coming from the left. Watch this pickup. Gives Jeff Godfrey time to sit in the pocket so he can step into the pass. And a perfect strike there to Kymist Williams, and a huge 1st down for UCF. And again, back to that penalty. Marshall should have the ball offensively, but that penalty allowed UCF to get back on the field, and now they're in scoring territory.
Kymist Williams getting more of a shot tonight because of the injury to Quincy McDuffie, who was out this evening. The team's leading receiver. Weaver just cannot find any room to run now.
Great defense again by Marshall. They played it well all night. They got burned a little bit early in the game, but they made the necessary adjustments. And there's no quit in this Marshall team.
UCF has 5 yards rushing in the 2nd half.
This is a statement drive right here by UCF. You're up by 10, just over 6 minutes to go in the 4th. You're the reigning Conference USA champ. You've beaten Marshall 6 games in a row. Can you make a statement here, finish this drive off, and put this game out of reach?
Knights had 177 yards rushing in the 1st half. Reverse to Williams. With some room, Williams still churning. To the 11, 2 yards shy of a 1st down.
That's exactly what Charlie Taft and George O'Leary want. When their receivers get their hand on the ball as a 3rd season as a offensive coordinator, but your receivers, after they get hit, it's yards after contact. What can they do? A nice end around play and a tough run, but Charlie Taft used to be up in the box. Now he's down on the sideline. He feels like he can communicate with his players better, but just look at the end around, a simple handoff, and just watch. Nice cuts. He's getting hit, covering the ball, most importantly, with both hands. Good, tough run there, bringing up a 3rd and short.
Williams took that play for 22 yards in the 1st half. Quick hit, and that ball is up and intercepted. Tipped on 3 different occasions, and it's going the other way. Rogers. No, that's Omar Brown, who's had a whale of a game.
Yeah, Omar Brown, we talked about arguably their best defensive player, coming up with a huge play.
He had 11 tackles at halftime. Omar Brown has been all over the field. Well, Jeff Godfrey just threw an interception, and boy, is that reminiscent of the BYU game.
And he's talking to Charlie Taft on the sideline, and maybe it's a communication in the route, but he severely threw the ball behind Adam Nisley, and the ball's tipped up for the interception.
Barry Snyder in on that tackle. Didn't go for much right there. And here's the play one more time.
Jeff
Omar
Godfrey
Brown
sitting in the pocket there, and you can see that he just throws the ball way behind Adam Nisley if he's throwing to a spot. Don't know that, but you've got to put the ball where your receiver has a chance to make the play. And Coach O'Leary's telling him you've got to protect the football.
You can read his mouth. He said, "It's on you." A.J. Bouye pushes Dobson out of bounds.
I tell you, you give Marshall all the credit they deserve. A couple of guys defensively, and Vinny Curry having 5 tackles for losses. Omar Brown and what he's done with 17 tackles. It's like 13 solo. This guy's been unbelievable all over the field tonight.
Omar Brown is most likely Conference USA's Player of the Week. He's got a forced fumble, 1 tackle for loss, the interception to go along with those 17 tackles. Boy, third down play. Cato goes down. Josh Lynham finishes the play, and Cato is slow to get up, helped up by his offensive line.
Great job there by Josh Lynham and crew and applying pressure on Rakeem Cato. You just keep coming. There's player after player. Cato has nowhere to go with the ball, but Josh Lynham with a lot of speed. He's always around the ball, but you've got to give it up for the UCF defense applying that pressure and not letting Cato get upside and have a chance to complete a pass.
Whitehead gets it away. Robinson just lets it bounce. Good field position, about the 48-yard line. Cato.
Yeah, you can see Rakeem Cato is getting on the phone right now, frustrated, has been harassed all night, has not had a lot of time to sit back in the pocket and deliver passes all night. A tough night weather-wise, but UCF has been all over him, applying pressure. You can see the frustration as he's talking to his coaches.
Here's the hit. This was UCF's, well, no, this was earlier tonight. Jonathan Davis with a hit.
You can see even when he has an opportunity to get rid of the ball, he's just being bounced around like a pinball all night, and the pressure just doesn't stop. It comes from all angles, and he's taking a beating. That's a guy that's going to need an ice tub after this one.
6'1", 180. Ronnie Weaver just not finding any room to run.
Now you've got just over 3.5 minutes to go in this football game, and you've got to control this football, run it down their throats, and get the time off the clock and get out of here.
Mark, listen to this crowd. They're cheering because the rain is so heavy and so loud right now. You can hardly see the fans through these pictures.
Yeah, listen, it's a tough night all around, and you know, most of the time in these conditions, you're not going to be hitting on all cylinders offensively. But right now is the time where you make a statement and put this game away.
Coming to a UCF football game, unite and get the patch. Some fans wearing the pink patch tonight. #1 on the checklist for your game day gear. Buy the patch at one of several UCF area partners or online at UCFathletics.com. You see some young ladies in the stands wearing bikinis tonight. You can't blame them. It might as well, you're either swimming in a pool or you're at a football game.
Swimming at the stadium. Yep.
Godfrey to run. Hasn't done much of this tonight. Oh, he bounces off a defender and gets the first down, but goes out of bounds. He's not going to want to do that. Wants to keep that clock rolling. Yeah,
great job by Jeff Godfrey avoiding the tackle and getting it up the field for a first down. And trust me, when you're a quarterback and you go on the sideline and Coach O'Leary's getting in your face, you start thinking about that. You know, playing a little tight, but a good move, takes the hit, and then gets the ball up the field for the first down and keep those chains moving. 5 carries, 14 yards for Godfrey. David Bauman, 15-year NFL veteran Mark Royals, and Jeff Ratcliffe with you this evening. Kendall Robinson, our director. Scott Engels, our producer. Jeremy Swenson on statistics tonight. Bryn Harvey keeps moving those legs. Gain of about 8. Nice run, and Bryn Harvey's had a good night. Started off with a 50-yard jaunt right out of the gate. And that's not the first time we've seen him after contact. You watch, he takes a hit. This is the initial run of the game, and that kind of got UCF started with a pretty productive first half. And he's run the ball tough all night when he gets in traffic, doing a good job protecting the ball. And he's the kind of guy just needs reps. He touches it more, he gets better. Another timeout by Chris Rippon's defense. Yeah, Harvey with that costly fumble that went the other way. Really the only blemish on his night, and yeah, you can't have the ball turned over, and they've stressed that all week. And Coach O'Leary said if these guys are putting the ball on the ground, they're going to come out, and maybe that applies too much pressure. You know, they start pressing a little bit, but the bottom line is if you want to be a championship caliber football team, you have to pay attention to detail, and one of those things is protecting that football. You got to protect it right now. 2:51.
Three receivers to Godfrey's left. The tight end Adam Nisley to the right. It's a carry to Harvey. Running right, first down. Harvey tackled by Vinnie Curry at the 18.
Yeah, Harvey doing a nice job right there. The flow of that play had him going outside, maybe going out of bounds, and not what he wanted to do. As you can see, he missed a complete season, tearing his right ACL, but he does a nice job of cutting that ball back up the field for additional yardage, keeping the ball in bounds and keeping that clock moving.
16 yards on that carry. He's got 166 yards. Godfrey's going to let that clock tick down. 3 seconds on the play clock. Gets it off with 1 to go. Harvey, gain of 3, maybe 4.
That's what you want as the quarterback. When you're watching that play clock, you don't snap it late in a game like this until there's just a couple seconds to go. So Jeff Godfrey doing a good job there milking that clock.
28 carries, 169 yards for Bryn Harvey.
Oh, he's had his moments tonight at the quarterback position, but George O'Leary's going to keep on him because, you know what, when you set the bar as high as he did as a freshman, the expectations now are a lot higher for this kid. He's tremendously talented. He's going to continue to grow as a player, and this team will go as he goes.
He got his first passing touchdown of the season tonight. Hit A.J. Guyton for a score to start the scoring. Made it 7-0. Harvey, another carry going nowhere. Godfrey tonight through the air is 13 of 22 for 147 yards. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Harvey has been the workhorse with 27 carries. Josh Reese getting a chance at the receiver position. Reese with 4 catches, 42 yards.
Kind of surprised Marshall hadn't taken a timeout here. They have 1 left and a lot of clock running off here.
Under a minute to go. UCF just running this one out. Harvey. He gets the first down, it's over, and he does. First down UCF. They can take a knee and end this thing.
Good job, very fitting there. Brent Harvey with the big run to pick up the first down. UCF now able to just run the clock out and get out of here with a very, very tough, hard-fought win.
UCF will move to 1-0 in Conference USA play. Coach George O'Leary will record his 100th career victory. It was not a pretty second half at all. The Knights just wanted to get this one over as quickly as possible.
Congratulations to George O'Leary for that 100th win.
Godfrey and Cato ran up to each other quickly. Josh Reese, the former teammate of Cato, just gave each other a chest bump there. Yeah, Reese was a receiver there, Miami Central.
Very tough game to play in. These conditions were really difficult. You know, hats off to Marshall for getting behind and fighting back and making this a football game. And UCF able to get that last drive and close this one out to get George O'Leary his 100th win. Marshall falls to 2-4 there in 2011. UCF improves to 1 game above 500 at 3-2 on the season. It's not the most beautiful win. I mean, they all have some attractiveness to them, but it's a good coaching game where you get the win, but now you can go back and be a little firm with your players and go, you know, if we're going to keep doing things that we want to do, we're going to have to clean some of these things up, and it starts with penalties and turnovers. Jeff Ratcliffe has head coach George O'Leary 100 wins.
Well, you know, we had our opportunities. We got to take advantage of them at the end of the whole second half, the first half too, and you know, too many red zone plays, we didn't come out with points, and obviously you got to get that corrected. But I thought defensively played a hell of a game and got after it and made some great stops, and that's what we got to continue to do. And offensively, you got to hold on to the ball. And you know, it's obviously you can blame the weather, but I'm not. I think we got to just be smarter with sometimes with the ball.
Reflect on 100 victories. This is 100 for you.
It's a lot of years. I mean, but a lot of years, and you know, you're coaching something you love, and you know, you're working with great kids and great coaches. So, no better job in America as long as you win.
That's correct.
All right, thank you.
Congratulations, Coach. George O'Leary, 100 wins, and it comes tonight 16-6 over Marshall in the Conference USA opener. UCF a winner. Fellas.
Jeff Radcliffe, thank you very much. We'll be back with a post-game recap when we come back. The UCF defense holds steady, actually outscores the Marshall offense. UCF now 1-0 in Conference USA play, claiming the 16-6 win over Marshall in the CUSA opener. It wasn't pretty by any stretch. UCF came out dominating in the early goings. Jeff Godfrey handing off to Bryn Harvey to start the game. A 50-yard run to set the tone. Harvey finishes with 30 carries, 180 yards. Godfrey's first passing touchdown of the year. A.J. Guyton comes up with it, and it's 7-0 UCF. The UCF defense was outstanding. Josh Lynham forcing the fumble and coming up with the recovery. And Latavius Murray, in backup duty, scores a touchdown, his 4th of the season, to make it 14-0. And then the holding call on Victor Gray was ruled a safety. 16-0 UCF. And Jeff Godfrey, later in the game, threw an interception in the red zone. Bryn Harvey fumbled in his own territory, and Marshall's defense picked it up, scooped, and scored a touchdown. 16-6 was the final score. David Bauman, alongside 15-year NFL veteran Mark Royals, with you this evening. And Mark, you said it earlier on the telecast, this is a good game for coaches because you can pinpoint things you need to clean up. It wasn't pretty.
Well, they came out of the gate and they started off well. They established a run. Bryn Harvey had a fantastic night, aside from the one blemish where he put the ball on the ground. Jeff Godfrey, I thought, still struggled. He's, I think, having some issues with decision-making and accuracy on his passes. But overall, the bottom line is, did you win the game? They were able to do that, and now they can build off of that. And this is one of those games where you will go back to the drawing board and you'll look at all the mistakes and the fact that you won. Now you can be a little harder on them and clean it up. But they're going to have to play a lot better as they get deeper into this Conference USA schedule.
The rains came down and they never stopped. It's been raining since the wee hours of the morning. And here's the night's upcoming schedule: at SMU, at UAB in a Thursday night contest on the 20th. Then back here for homecoming, a game that will be televised right here on Bright House Sports Network against Memphis. Tulsa on a Thursday night. That's right here at Bright House Network Stadium. And then at Southern Miss on the 12th of November. All Conference USA games. For everyone here at Bright House Sports Network, Kendall Robinson, our director, Scott Angles, our producer, Jeremy Swenson, our statistician, for Mark Royals, and for Jeff Radcliffe, reporting from the sidelines. Boy, he's going to need to get dry. 24,750 fans soaking wet for this one here at Bright House Network Stadium. Thanks for watching here on Bright House Sports Network. Night's a winner.